Peace, peace. This your host, Selah-Shalom. And this is the Cosmon teachings in the words of Jehovah and his angel ambassadors from the Cosmon Bible, OAHSPE. And the topic of discussion today is called the Ihin'S, the sacred little people. Black, brown, tan, yellow, and white. Now, the oldest people on record are the pygmy, the Twa of Africa, the South African Bushmen, the original blacks of Australia, and the Native American pygmies. Now, when OAHSPE gives a description of the little people in Africa, where it states in the Lord's 5th book, chapter 3, verse 4, of all colors, black, white, yellow, copper, red, and brown, were the tribes of Ham. Nevertheless, they were Ihin'S, having flat nails and short arms, and of such as desired to acquire knowledge. And I brought them to a country of sand fields, and of fields of rich pasture, and to spread. Where lived but few natives, the dark people, with short hair. Nevertheless omitted I even the hair of the head of man, without providing testimony of my word. So here this verse is referring to the little people of Africa, basically being the pygmy and the Twa. And the sacred knowledge was always kept with the little people. Now, this is a Wikipedia based off the little people of North America. According to the native people of North America, told legends of a race of little people who lived in the woods, near sandy hills, and sometimes near rocks, located along large bodies of water, such as the Great Lakes, often described as hairy-faced dwarfs. In stories, the physical remains of tiny people have been reported found in various locations in the western United States, particularly Montana and Wyoming. Particularly, these are described as being found in caves, with various details such as descriptions that they were perfectly formed dwarf size. Now, a graveyard unearthed in the 1830s in Ohio was believed to contain skeletons belonging to a pygmy race. In fact, that the grave, only about 3 feet long, were bone burials containing disarticulated or bent bones packed together. So here is evidence of these pygmies living in America. Now, when the OAHSPE gives a description of how these people lived, as stated in the Lord's 3rd book, chapter 1, verses 13 through 17, this description is concerning the Native Americans, the pygmies of Native America. But the lifestyle is the same around the world with the rest of the sacred little people. Now, verse 13, the Lord said, "These that build temples of hewn stone and cover them with polished copper are not my people. These warrior kings that fortify their cities with soldiers are not my people. They are not great." Verse 14, "But these are my chosen, that live in mounds and live in cities with wooden walls and clay walls. They are the greatest of all people. They dress not in gaudy colors, nor ornament themselves with copper and silver and gold."
These little people are said to be the first people to walk these lands, whose territory spans most areas of present-day Namibia, Botswana, South Africa, Zimbabwe, Angola, Mozambique, Lesotho, and Swaziland.
Verse 15. They are the people of learning. They survey the way of the canals. They find the square and the arch. They lead the Ihin'S to the mines, where lead and copper and silver are buried. These are the great people. Verse 16. Without them, the Ihin'S could not build his own house. He could not find the level for a canal, nor provide the square of his temple. The Ihin'S, the sacred little people, are the greatest people. Verse 17. My chosen have shapely legs and arms and feet and hands, and their hair growth long and straight, white and yellow. So here it shows how the sacred little people had the sacred knowledge in their keeping. And this is referring to the pygmies of North America. Now the Ihin'S are described as being white and yellow. Now the closer to what we have to fit that description is the Pacific Islanders, where you can clearly see they are yellow, tan. These are the offspring of an extant race of old, carrying certain physical traits of the ancestors. Now these sacred little people are the oldest people. When you look at ancient Egypt, the oldest deity is Bes. And that's a pygmy, a twa. So before us, the 6 foot tall people came on the scene, you had these little people roaming the earth.
These original inhabitants of this land have for centuries lived freely as hunter-gatherers across the plains of southern Africa.
And with that, I'd like to say peace and blessings. Shalom.